This is the first day of the build of this VapourMax Pro 750. Now I had a little chat with Max last night after I read through the book, and I realised the mallet was not intentionally put in the box. It was for actually sealing other boxes, and it actually dropped in apparently. So don't worry about the mallet. Now we're going to go through the instruction book bit by bit, right? And I've assembled here the parts that we need. This is the base, and these are the four sides of the sump, the bottom piece. Now there are some tools that you'll probably need, probably not, but what I'm going to use to temporarily assemble this, when I get it splitted out, is some things called Cleco rivets. Let me come round and I'll show you. These are a temporary rivet, so you press them down and then when you release them they will expand just like a pop rivet, but you can take them out again. They're kind of nippy, they're not too expensive. You can get, I got all these lot off Amazon. So I'm going to use those to temporarily assemble this unit. Now let's have a look down here, see what we've got. That's my box of Clecos. Now, I know that this is going to be sort of somewhat difficult because we're pop riveting with stainless steel pop rivets. Oh, that's a nice little touch. I was a bit worried about this. Let me come back again. I'm doing a lot of walking today. These rivets are closed end rivets, so we don't have to worry about leaking. We just have to worry about the seam, so that's a good thing. I thought about that last night. I thought, oh, I hope they have got closed end rivets. So what we've got four pieces, and we've got a sump plate here. Now obviously I can't put my camera back too far because we wouldn't be able to see me top. But what we're going to do, we're going to assemble it the best way we think possible, using the Clecos, because if we make a mistake we can always just take them out again. So, which is the front and which is the back? I think that's the side. Yeah, because here there's a slot. There's a slot in here where the drip rail goes in, so that would be the right hand side. That would be the left hand side. So that means this will be, you guessed it, the back side. Now, how does it say? First of all, it's really important, before we do anything, have a look at the instructions and see what they actually say. So let me read it out to you. Take the four panels used to assemble the sump. Start by assembling the outer panels as first shown. Exactly. No, not exactly. I've got this one. They've got this one on first. Like that. Now, you'll have noticed this has got a protective film on. I like to peel back that film before I rivet, because otherwise you get little bits of plastic all over the place, but never mind about that, that's just my preference. Let me see. Work your way around attaching each panel until you have all the sides together for the sump. Does it say which way they go round? Oh, I see. There's a picture in here of this rear panel. The flanges are on the outside. Right, where was it? So if that's on the outside, then this must be on the outside too. So that must mean this goes like that on the inside. So what I'm going to do is just peel off this protective plastic, and then we'll come back, because I noticed we don't want it where there's going to be seams. And this might take a little time. I think it's going to take a lot of time actually. Yeah, I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. I'm peeling back this plastic so we can overlap it in a nice clean fashion, because if not, we'll be clinching between the plastic and not making a nice seal. So I'm going to just stop this video here and peel it all off so we get ready for pop riveting. Well, there's the sump all assembled now. Now those Cleco clips were really handy, and you can see how I've folded back here the sticky stuff, just so it's, you know, when you tear it off it's easier to come off and it's not trapped underneath leaving raggedy edges. So basically let's go through this, because it is a little bit, not complicated, but it's complicated. This side is the door side, this is the right side, alright? The panel here with the holes in, that's the back side. The panel here is the left side, and it's got a hole in here for an electrical contact for the pump, and the front is plain and it's got nothing in it. That's easy. The sump plate here is self-explanatory how it goes in, because they thought of everything. They put more pop rivets at one side than the other, if you see here, so it can only go in one way. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pop that plate in just now with some Clecos whilst I pop rivet this up. Now I'm kind of fortunate to have here an air operated pop rivet gun. Now I know from the old days when I used to do steel pop rivets, doing them by hand was hard, not unless you've got like an easy tongue type pop rivet gun, but if you can rent one of these from your local tool shop, it's easy. Now they are 3/16, so pretty common. So let me put the base in, again with the Clecos, and then we'll see about sealing this up. I think that's the next stage anyway, but let me do this bit, because I want it all to line up, if you see what I mean. And these are really handy. Now when you buy these Clecos, they're, like I said, they're not very expensive, but they're sold in packs of 10. Take it from me, get 20. You won't regret it. Yeah, like I say, you could do it with nuts and bolts, I suppose, but there you can see it all assembled, ready for pop riveting. Now the pop rivets go from the outside in, alright? And then that's when you start to seal up this gap here with your sealer, your caulking. But I'm going to leave that little stage for a little later, I think. And well, let's see what it says in the book on the next page. Oh no, it says seal it up. Well, that's alright. Well, let's pop rivet it first. Now this is kind of a bit boring, but it might take a little bit of time. I'll get my gun in. Take your pop rivets. And what they state in the book, kind of importantly, even though you've got your Clecos in, start in the middle and work out. Don't start at one end and work this way. Start in the middle, work it out. So this is how the air operated gun works. It's easy as that, and it blows all the rivets all over. This is pretty easy. Things you buy over the years to make your life a lot easier. So I'm going to go around that, then I'll take the Clecos out, and then we'll come to the next stage. This is all now assembled, all lined up beautifully. Nice one. Now the next thing we're going to do, according to the book, we're going to apply this caulking around the seal. Alright, so that shouldn't be too difficult. We're going to go inside a little bead all the way around. Now fortunately, for me, I already have an air caulking gun. So we've cut the top off the cartridge, slip it in, pop the top on. And one very important thing you have to do with these things. Don't do like my mate Chris did and clip it into a 100 psi line. It'll empty that cartridge in about 2 seconds. You must put a regulator on. So I've got my regular shop air, put an inline regulator, and then I'm going to drop the pressure down until it just nicely squeezes out. This has already got a hole in the end. Hopefully it's big enough. So let's get on with that. Might have to adjust the regulator. There's the regulator. It's easy to work out. We don't need those pop rivets just as yet, so we'll put those to one side. Oh, I need to put a couple more pop rivets in. Just hold on a second. I've just took the clicos out. I'll come around this side and I'll show you how easy it is with the corking gun. I don't know if you can see down here. Let's run a bead down there. Now I'm not sure, I think I've got about 15-20 psi on there, and I've cut a slight little angle on the nozzle. Now I bet you couldn't see that, but let's try it again on this side, see if I can show you, because I get in the way of the camera. But it makes a really nice even bead, if you see what I mean. You see that? Went too slow. Went a bit slow there. Let's speed it up a bit. Let's go on this one. Oops. Yeah, no, that's going alright. So all I've got to do now is do around the base. There you go. Make sure there's plenty in the corners, you know, so we don't want any leaks. So that's good. I don't know how long that takes to dry, but we better press on because we've got to do the top piece so we can use the corking all at once. Like I said, they recommend 4 hours to put this together, so let's assemble this bit so while we've got the corking it's not drying out. Just before we finish this section, I've noticed on the next page it says we have to put the external tray. Now that took a bit of working out for me. I was wondering what they were, and it's this piece here. Now the beauty about this job is you can usually work out where parts go because of the pop rivets. And this is the door side, because this is the right hand side. And this tray goes in like this. Now you can see there's a slot in here, and that's because when you open the door any excess water will run back into the machine, which is a good idea. So I think I'll put this on, but I'll put a little bit of a beading of corking in these corners just to stop it leaking on the floor. The pop rivets then go in from the inside, alright? Oh, let's get on with that. We haven't finished on that page yet, I didn't realise. What we've got to do now is fit the filter. Now, I didn't realise with this kit that this is an optional extra, so they were kind enough to put everything into the kit that we need. This is the filter. This is the hole it goes in, and it's held in place by one of the taps. So, but look, just be really careful with this, because you don't want to strip the thread or cross thread it, and you don't want to snap it off. So just be a bit careful with this. And then we've got a little cover to go on there with some pop rivets. We'll put this in first and then we'll do the pop riveting. There's the tap in place. Make sure it's all nice and level. There's our filter. You'll see that down there. And this is the cover. Now this cover will stop any debris sitting on top of the filter. And the reason there's a filter in there, because that's part of your gun wash kit, if you see what I mean. So that what happens is, the water at the top should be relatively clean. So it's filtered and then goes to your gun wash. It's a kind of a clever idea. So we're going to pop rivet that part in place. And hopefully we can get on with the top bit. Just be careful when you're walking around your shop, you don't sort of slip and slide on the pop rivet tends. I don't want any accidents. There we go. Right, let's see what it says next. Oops. Right. Let's see what it says in the book of words. Part 7. Take 4 panels that make up the cabinet. Firstly, dry assemble them. The joints are designed to be tight, so it is just putting temporary rivets, clicos, or bolts through the centre of each rivet run first and pull the panels into alignment. This will be tight. Tight as a tiger. Below you can see the dry assemble. Align the centre rivet on each rivet run first. In other words, what they've done is they've put a cleco in the middle and put 2 rivets either side. Once aligned properly, start riveting together. We suggest putting 1 rivet in each run first and then working your way out from the centre of the edges. Do not start at one edge and then work your way around the whole side panel. Please note, the hood and side panels fit around the back panel, remaining on the flanges or on the outside. Oh, the remaining flanges are on the outside of the cabinet. So the back panel is on the inside of all those pieces, if you see what I mean. Where does the outside go? I think the outside's on the top. It is. Right, let's put this to one side. I'm in a bit of a rush now because I don't want that caulking to dry. So, I've already got the panels out here. Pretty self-explanatory. That's the right-hand side one. Which is that? Like that. Just a second. Oh, that's the back. So that goes into there like that. Yeah, that goes into there like that. So I've got some peeling to do. And this one. So the next thing is to assemble the cover. Now I've already sort of done this one just to save time. I've got the clecos in. They're sort of invaluable. They make life so much easier. I've peeled off the backing, you know, the protective backing, so there's not going to be any marks. But basically that's how it goes together. There's your door end, right? And this overlaps this, if you see what I mean. This overlaps this piece. Same at the top. This overlaps here. Same both sides. And then we come round to the back. This is put in from the inside. Now, like I say, make sure it's pretty rigid before you put it all together with pop rivets. So we're ready to go on that. And then we can put some seal around it. But that's basically how it goes. I'm going to leave the protective film on until we get round to the last stages. But that's what it says. That's what we're up to there. Once complete, start to rivet the panel as shown below, caulking, and then we've got to join the top to the bottom. Right, with all the rivets in, the clecos are taken out. That's a nice solid box now. So what remains now is to go around with a caulking gun on the inside. Seal all the joints where it meets in the corners. So I'll get on with that because we've already seen how to do that, so there's no point doing it twice, is there? And then we put the bottom, the sump, onto here. Now, with a unit lying on its back, we're now going to fit the sump. Now they say that this is a bit tricky on your own, but well, I've done everything so far on my own, so I can't see it being that difficult. What we have to do is put a bead of caulking on the seam here, all the way around, fit the base, and that's that section finished with. Boy, isn't it good, eh? So there we are. I inverted it and dropped it on the top. That was easy. Cleco's every other pop rivet. That's going to be good. What I used, I picked this up at the car boot sale or yard sale the other day, an awl, pocking awls, and it was fantastic for just getting that original alignment where the pop rivets go. Brilliant. Now, if you ever want to clean up this caulking, brake cleaner's good. Really gets it off. So, but I want to get all this caulked up before lunchtime.